Hello everybody, I'm Raisa Cacciatore. I'm very grateful to be here, invited here. I am a child psychiatrist and adolescent health specialist in Väestöliitto, Family Federation of Finland. My topic is age-appropriate sexuality education in Finland. We have got this tradition to go together naked in a hot room for amusement, for health, and it has been hundreds of years, and we enjoy it. It's in a way without sexuality. It's very common tradition, important. And maybe because of this, the situation in Finland around comprehensive sexuality education is very good. We get good feedback, apart some single negative comments. Väestöliitto is very trusted organization, it helps. We have to know our battle. We studied the needs, obstacles, fears and risks, and we made positive, respectful answers already in advance, so we can take part to any conversations quickly with these positive comments. And also our church is very supportive. Confessional schools for youth in church teach also themselves comprehensive sexuality education for youth. About history, you are gonna get these slides so you can read better. I will explain with this picture about the history. First, in the mid of the 70s, the situation in sexual health of adolescents was quite bad. There was lots of deliveries and abortions. But then the abortion law came and counseling centers were created, and the schools had this family education lessons mandatory, and quickly the abortions and deliveries went down. Then came, in the beginning of 90s, the economical crisis, and school teaching was stopped as a mandatory. It was sporadic about sexuality education, and the school health nurse system was diminished, and this kind of counseling centers for contraceptives were stopped and closed, and almost in 5 years the adolescent abortions went up, increased 50%. Then became this very wise thing, health education mandatory topic to school. As there is mathematics or any other subject, also health education was included, and also the services were developed, and since that the abortions and deliveries have decreased in young persons. And sexuality education in schools is integrated under the health education. It's not a separate topic about sexuality, but it's overall health. And I think this is the most clever thing to do. It's well-being. It's under infections, social skills, emotion management, friendship, preventing violence, contraception, pregnancies, values, norms. Inside there, in many places, is also sexuality education. And in the national core curricula made by Finnish National Agency for Education, the word sexual is mentioned from 9-year-olds up. So it's in this way good situation that sexuality education is possible when it's clearly mentioned there in a mandatory curricula. Here you can see another curve how the abortions for young persons have gone down and then up and then down again in Finland. Well, what about young children's sexuality education? How is it in Finland. We have got a positive situation, not perfect, but quite good. The National Affairs of Education is funding many hour training projects for professionals in Väestöliitto. We have got common seminars and materials with National Affairs of Education, and we can comment their documents before they come published. Also, the Center for Social Welfare and Health is funding our 1-3-year project, big project. So we are 3 persons now working all day long with childhood comprehensive sexuality education. And the public attitude is positive. We had in the beginning of this year in main media 2 important articles. For instance, as an example, there came 2 comments. First one was important topic, but maybe I would not yet talk about the fertilization for so young persons. And somebody answered immediately, at least I told to my 6-year-old, because a safe adult must tell these topics. So people know already. Also, the action plan for prevention of violence against children from Ministry of Social Affairs and Health demands continuous age-appropriate mandatory sexuality educations for all ages. And we have written 1 chapter there about safe body emotion education for young children. This is important document, also in English. All our materials and information is based on WHO standard for sexuality education in Europe and our national web surveys, which we made on 2013 and 14. We had over 1,100 response, and we asked what children express, what they ask and how people respond, and what are the problems, obstacles supporting and protecting healthy sexual development with young children. And with these results we created a huge web page for parents, information with child-centered pictures and words of child sexuality, which is different than young persons or adults' sexuality. So sexuality education we call body emotion education. The genitals of children are called differently than of adults. We talk about childhood masturbation with another word, and sexual violence we call positively safety skills teaching, and bullying we call positive drop intervention management. Especially difficult topics for adults, not for children, but for adults are these: how to talk about reproduction to young children, how to talk about dangerous adults, so safety skills to young children, and how to talk and deal with the childhood masturbation. So we made lots of materials and information about these 3 topics. We answered all the questions. And we learned that adults constantly, daily basis, face children's sexuality expressions, but the responses are sporadic, uneven, what comes to mind of that adult, and parents, professionals lack models and information and training and everything, materials, and they don't discuss with each other the matter. They don't have words to talk about and tradition to talk about childhood sexuality with each other. There were many barriers. What is childhood sexuality? Is there this kind of thing? And what is good quality sexuality education for young children? There is an innocence that is destroyed if you give information, or Giving information makes children to act in adult way, or providing information predisposes children to sexual abuse, or that children must be answered only if they ask only to that question, only that child, or sexuality is a private topic, you cannot talk or teach about it, or sexuality starts in adolescence. So we made answers and explained these things quite a lot. The first thing was to make this poster, which gives the explaining and opens it. What is age and development appropriate sexuality and sexuality education in different age levels? You can put this in day care and you can read it from the wall and it's easy to understand. Oh, my child is doing this, how should I manage with it? Is this? And we have made also smaller leaflets to printable so that every age group you can give to a parent if they ask, if they wonder. Let kids be kids is a common thing. We say that yes, you are right, let them be kids so that they can grow on their age level, safely, well-being, in a child's way. Parents and professionals in daycare need to know what it means to be a child. You are right. It is playful, open, shame-free, natural, curious learning about the body, emotions, good manners, safety. This is childhood sexuality. This we want to protect as well. Or about that knowledge destroys innocence. Childhood innocence is playful, curious, shame-free, natural way to be in one's own body, to be proud of body, to respect all bodies. This is childhood sexuality. Also we want to protect this. In our survey came many critical comments towards the word sexuality education, sexuality. And people said, hey, when children say or act in some way, it's not sexual. And adults think that sexual means having sex, doing adult sexual things. So the word sexual with children is not good. That's why we decided to make a new term, because childhood sexuality is different, childhood sexuality education is different, so we can call it with a synonym. Body emotion education means childhood sexuality education and safety skills. And the word body emotion came from that children mostly show expressions and ask questions about body and about emotions. So this is childhood sexuality. The focus is there. The problem are adults' negative emotions, which we easily give to the children. There is the own sexual history. It's taboo to talk. There are no words, no traditions. What people say if I teach something to my children and they talk. There are beliefs, different cultures, very many obstacles and negative emotions with adults. And there are problems also still that adults teach to children that these are all naughty words, toilet words. You can't say the names of the genitals or that you want to pee or poo because they are toilet words. You have to say them only in toilet. This is bad. It makes children silent. Or shame on you, don't touch there, they are bad places. Shaming means that I am not good enough for this society, for this child group. Now I'm outsider. It's very, very difficult feeling for a child. If they feel shame for their body, it's not good. It doesn't mean you can save. You can protect it. Because if you cannot say it, you cannot protect it. You have to be able to talk about something you respect and you want to protect. They need words, and we know that this is a big problem, that children and young people don't talk about sexual harassment. It's time to start positive education instead of shame education. For young children, there is a mandatory national core curricula, but it is without the word sexuality. This is still a problem. There are elements, it's possible to teach, but it's without the word, so adults think that it's not included. But the good thing is that 22 municipalities in Finland have integrated the word sexuality education or body emotion education with their local mandatory curricula. And this means that almost half of Finnish children should get it already. And a good thing is also that we have got from the National Affairs of Education this experimental curriculum for 5 to 6 year olds, preschool curriculum, which first they just test, but the words sexuality safety skills, digital safety skills, body esteem, body image are included. This is wonderful if this would be come to all Finland. So what we do now, we have got these 3 persons working all day long with this topic. We have made huge web page for professionals and parents, online courses, lectures, videos, tasks, materials, models, everything free, printable. You can show in your trainings, you can do whatever you wish with our materials. For instance, printable posters about safety skills and your body, 4 important safety skills for young children, which you can teach. Say no, go away, tell to an adult you trust, for instance. We have got safety skills and sexuality education in picture books because parents and many professionals don't have words. How should I talk to children? And if they read a good picture book and children like it, then they get the words from there and pictures and everything is simple and clear. And we have been thinking already in advance how you can tell to different ages. Tools to facilitate discussion, for instance, these 21 cards with pictures. Do you want to talk about this or this or this? You can show the card, you can take a card, you can learn to talk. There are instructions behind the card and inside this teacher's guide how to talk about these topics, what you should teach to young children. And we have got body emotion education courses for professionals, basic and advanced, and courses for parents and grandparents also. Very simple, very short, very interesting, beautiful. How to start to think and learn to think. Expert lectures and videos, over 65 subtitled lectures, interesting, important topics. We have got leaflets and booklets. For instance, this is that what is normal and what is worrying behavior in young children and how you should react, not to punish if a child is over-sexual, but to start to think if a child needs help and who to contact, from where to ask more if you are worried of the behavior of a child. We have visited the Minister of Education every year. We hope that we get childhood sexuality education as a mandatory. And why is it important? Because knowing the childhood sexuality and sexual development helps to understand and to support the child. to identify the normal and worrisome behavior and helps children to talk openly to us adults. And a child is born already valuing, respecting themselves, accepting all the body, trusting in intimacy and closeness and touch. And body emotion education attempts to maintain these characteristics and aims to childhood safety. This is why we do this. Thank you.